over the years, 19 years of crazy. What's the wildest moment that has happened in the history of male reviews? Oh wow!
Did that just happen? That really just happened.
Yeah. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your man DJ A, and I'm in here with another one. I got your man DJ Blue Ice in the building with me today.
It's good.
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm solid, man. I cannot complain. You know, everything is going exceptional right now, so.
Can't lie, man. I'm hyped to have you up in here today, man. You know what I'm saying? You're a crowd favorite. You know, I've seen a lot of people just, show you love, especially with them new Blue Ice gear you got rocking, man. I seen that.
Yeah,
I definitely peeped that.
Team Blue Ice hoodie going on right now, and a lot of love out there, and I'm always appreciative of that. And I'm actually glad to be here. I know we had an opportunity. Well, we didn't have the opportunity, but you reached out a little bit ago, and I'm glad that we have some time to chop it up a little bit.
Oh, definitely, man. I'm definitely happy you stopped through. You know what I'm saying? Because not only I'm sure the world wants to know where Blue Ice originated from. You know what I'm saying? We want to catch him when he was in the freezer getting made. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So where are you from?
Well, I'm from Farrell, so
okay.
My family's from Farrell. Been here. I don't know how many generations they've been here, but I graduated from Farrell, 9-6. Y'all know what it is. And my early school years, I bounced around a little bit. I actually was in Reynolds for a little bit.
Okay.
One of the original Eccles back when the old Urban League. I mean, the Urban League it was the old Eccles school back in the day when we was kids. But I've gone to a couple schools over in Ohio too. But primarily, from the adolescent years, that was more of a Lady of Fathom, and then ended up at Farrell and whatnot. So that's so my family's from this area.
Okay, so you've always just been around the area. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is. It's hard to lead this little area, between Brookfield and all these little towns around here. It's like one big city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've always admired that. You know what I mean? So, what kind of kid were you in school?
I always described it like this. I was a guy that everybody knew or was aware of. Okay. But I wasn't. If we had to say popularity kind of thing, I wasn't one of the people that was like the super athlete or anything like that. And I was just a guy that everybody kind of knew.
Okay. You were like the jock or nothing. You didn't do no sports or anything.
No, I ran track. I did run track. But I didn't hoop or anything like that. I didn't play football.
Okay.
But I was more on the if I was to be familiarized with anything, I'd probably be my academics.
Okay. So you kind of like a nerd or something, or
see,
you just did your work. That was it. You just a normal kid.
That's how we would define it back then, probably. Yeah. So I was one of the.
That's why I try to categorize it. No
but,
shade.
No, that's what it is. It's what it is. But no, I was probably my academics is probably what I would be more familiar for. When you know in those groups and they be like, oh, we want to be in that guy's group. I was one of those.
Yeah, I'm happy to say that nowadays that's more looked upon. It's like kids like to get good grades now.
Oh,
so back in our day, it's like, oh, you freaking nerd. He's in the class getting his homework done.
Yeah. So I came in, man. Those reports. So there's always those 4 or 5 individuals that academically they're like, oh, they're just gonna, and that's kind of how it was.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, so,
but I was just a guy. Everybody just, he a cool dude.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any brothers or sisters?
Oh yeah, I have one brother, one sister.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're local too. Well, my sister actually is out of state now. My brother's still around.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I went to school maybe with your brother was he in Sharon for a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think he was a couple grades under me, but I failed a couple classes. So he was in one of my classes. But I think I remember him. Yeah. Cool kid. You know what I mean? Always cool. So what was life like with your parents? What was that situation?
My parents is still together right now. Actually, was just at the house yesterday last night.
That's beautiful.
So talking to them.
That's a beautiful thing.
Trying to make sure my mom don't rock my dad.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that's definitely a wonderful feeling.
Yeah. So
especially nice to see.
So they coming up on November 1st. Actually, they coming up on 45 years married. So.
Oh man.
So they still together.
Wow. So that's definitely that's something we would hope our kids would do, and that's just beautiful to see them stay together. Especially nowadays, everybody baby mama, baby daddy. It's not traditional no more. Everybody's so quick to just leave. break up. Marriage is nothing anymore.
Yeah, I would say the concept of relationships and marriage as we idealize it to be isn't what it's going to be. It doesn't manifest that way. But my parents are solid. My dad was in entertainment. Sergio, everybody know.
Okay.
If you're from the area, and the people that don't know that, as soon as I say it, they go, "Oh, I see it." And it's one of those things.
Yeah. Well, I'm unfamiliar. Was he a DJ also? Or?
No, he's a singer.
Oh, really?
Singer.
Okay.
That's So nice. all those old school singers. So he was one of those in the area for years. Style changed over the different years and whatnot. So that's primarily what he was known for doing. And my mom's in the medical field, so she's still working. Oh. And but growing up with them, it was a different dynamic. You got I don't want to say opposing ideologies it's so much, but two balanced approaches to raising your children, I think.
Yeah. And do you feel like that helped you with them being traditional and having values and stuff? You feel like it raised you to how you are today?
Yeah, I think that there's always going to be that. I don't want to say that it put me in any better or worse position than anybody else, because everybody's experience growing up is unique. And you can be in a single parent household or non-traditional household and still get those same values and lessons. I think it's more of a testament to the people that are raising you so much. But I think the dynamics was my dad was more heady in that regard and worldview, and I would say that my mother is more the essence of the human spirit kind of thing, and you get how you connect with people. I think that resonated more from my mother. So that was the dynamic for me personally growing up. And then with my relationship with my brother and my sister, we're like the Trinity is, we tight like that. We don't have bad relationships.
Okay, good. So, yeah. So you got obviously you got the same parents and everything. So that definitely will make it a little tighter. So that's definitely. Yeah, I feel like that would definitely help with somebody's character as in coming up being, a solid person, you know what I mean, in the world. Definitely in a world full of fakes out here,
Oh, yeah,
it's hard out here, you
Absolutely.
know what I mean? But do you feel like, did you gain any of your musical knowledge from your parents?
Well, I see the musical component actually was something I stumbled upon. My dad did try to teach me, like, when I was younger, like, to play instruments and things like that. That just wasn't my lane, so musically, it was more my skill set. I always felt, was more about the entertainment element and my ability to connect verbally, like with the microphone and to read the audience rather than my actual music skill set, and I've always felt that. So when it came to the local DJs in the area, when it came to the actual, and I say this straight out, because I think people think, they have a tendency to think that you think of yourself a certain way. And my idea was always, or my approach was, I'm not the best DJ in the area. Okay. My skill set doesn't speak to that. But for the purposes of the area that we were in, that's kind of a bucket that we put a lot of things in. Yeah. And I would say that skill set was more on how effectively that I connect with people and resonate and can use the music that I'm aware of with the people and generate that activity. Yeah.
So it's like you weren't good at, like, I guess, creating the music, but presenting the music.
There we
amazing.
Go. See, I like that.
You know what I mean? So it's like
I'm a good presenter of those things while being authentic in it. But mixing and all that kind of stuff, that was never my true skill set.
Yeah. Presenting is a huge part of it, especially connecting and reading the crowd. You know what I mean? So in school, were you into music at all? Like,
No. So what ultimately ended up getting me all the way into entertainment was theater.
Okay, theater.
So acting. So that's actually the thing that I focused on in high school. So
you an actor? I didn't know that. That's interesting.
So yeah, you're gonna find out some. I don't know which camera it is right here. This one?
Both of them.
Oh, both of them.
Yeah, they both on you. Yeah.
I'm about to find out some lesser known information about your boy right here.
Yeah, man. So my man was a nerd theater. Okay. All right. So you was at the theater. So were you like real big into, like, was that like your main focus when you were in school besides academics?
Well, I stumbled up into acting my senior year, and the way that came about is we did The Wiz my senior year. People still talk about this play to this day because of
memorable, huh?
Yeah, really, because of the combination of talent that was presented all simultaneously. But the way that I got into that was when I was younger. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, like huge. And when I was a kid, and I would go to like the high school dances or what, I would like dance to Billie Jean, and moonwalking the whole nine.
Yeah.
And so somehow that translated when we were in high school for me being the Scarecrow and the Wiz, and that was my introduction into theater. Wow. And that's when I recognized that this was the lane in entertainment that was best suited for me. So that's how I got into it. It wasn't the music component.
Okay, so it's just like you like being on stage, that feeling of people looking at you, and just
see. I'm gonna give you another layer to that.
Yeah,
so, because what resonated most with me was being on the stage. It was the ability to reach people in a way that I had never experienced before, that transcended the applause. It transcended what was happening, and it made me realize that there was so much power and so much strength in being able to connect and reach people and take them to a place and transport them to a time in real time, in a moment. And I recognized that at 18, and I said, this is something that is going to be a unique path to go down. And so that was the genesis. And then when I went to college, I ended up majoring in theater.
Oh, okay, man. So you went to college right after high school. How much college did you do?
Well, I went to HBCU, and all of this is actually going to get into the genesis of Blue Ice, really.
Oh,
yeah, it all ties together.
Wow.
So, after I graduated, I went to Virginia Union University in Richmond, Virginia, and I had an academic scholarship down there, so I was a presidential scholar, and I subsequently did lose my scholarship. So I will say, even the best of us, whatever it is, how you are wired for college and education, is different for everybody, and it's not even, this is a Blue Ice opinion here. College isn't for everybody, and the academic structure as it is presented, is going to be a unique experience, and I think it's less about the education and more about the social development that you have. And so in learning that, I ended up losing my scholarship in there, and then I ended up dropping out.
So you was just like kind of partying all the time, or
no? It was making that transition. So when you are going away from home, or you're dealing with things that you may not have experienced before, how you adapt and adjust is different for everybody. My ability to adjust at the time was a strenuous one.
Would you say it's sort of like a culture shock?
I will absolutely say, for me personally, it was a culture shock. One, coming from a more diverse area to going straight to a HBCU was interesting, and then to see the beauty and dynamic and range of the culture from the boroughs in New York, Jersey, Philly, Baltimore, DC, the whole DC area, the 757.
Oh, you saw a range of everybody.
Yeah, so everybody's is at this university, and then we're not even dealing with, Texas and Florida boys, and things like that, North Carolina. So you got a lot of the East Coast all at this university, and it was a wild experience.
Yeah, that sounds like it'd be a pretty interesting scenario.
Yeah, it was. So I ended up losing the scholarship, but I still tried to stay, and the end of the story is I did end up with my degree. So, but
hey, that's what's up. As long as you got to handle,
Yeah, but this is just the genesis of that. So that was what the experience was. So I did go to college, and I majored in theater, and then I did a lot of acting, down there.
So that's where you learned a lot of your people skills in college.
I think some of it was organic, and then some of it was developmental on how to be social in unfamiliar situations. So I would credit that to a greater ability to engage. Yes.
Yeah, it's tough. A lot of people don't have the ability to try to speak with strangers, you would say, or even a crowd. That's like a lot of people's biggest fears. I can't even talk to crowds still, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, even though I DJ'd, I still get shy. And I'm sure. Do you ever have moments where you get shy? Still to this day?
I do. In the entertainment segment, not so much. There's always a moment where I get a little. There's a little pause or reserve, and it's anytime I'm about to go out, whether that's a big event or especially when I'm acting on stage. Okay. When the lights go down, there's always that moment when you center yourself, but it's like, okay, right there. And then it's go time.
Yeah. So when you were in college, and you were in theater, was there like a big production that you were a part of?
I'm trying to think. So, because this is a long time ago, so I did so many plays, I'm trying to remember them. But I remember I did. I do remember the name of the plays. One was called Living Fat, and one was called Flying West. And these were by African American playwrights. With it being a HBCU, that's where the concentration was. Mm-hmm. But those are the first two productions that I was in, and I had gotten leads in both of those, and I just kept building on it. So my concentration was in acting. Mm-hmm. So
okay,
but I didn't. My skill set isn't for like large scale musicals and things like that. I was never the singer, you know. So I focused with what they call straight plays, which is just focusing on drama rather than musical.
So so when you got out of college, did you go into the field that you were studying for? Or did you end up having to like work at Burger King for a couple months till you got it all together? You know what I mean? Like, know what college students do.
Yeah, actually. So when I left Virginia Union and I came back, because I felt like I said, life has whooped my ass, and that was verbatim when I said life whooped my ass, and I felt defeated, and I came back, here, and I started working at Walden Books in the mall. Shenango Valley Mall. Do you remember that? The joke was up there?
Yeah, I remember that. Right there in front of the jewelry spot. Yeah. Shay.
Yeah. The jewelry. So it was Walden Books and the calendar kiosk out in the middle.
Actually, I think I might have saw you there at one point. Because I was always in the mall.
Oh, what was that? It was like, that was 2002, 2003.
Okay.
It was something like that. That's something crazy.
So 2002, you were sitting there selling books, selling
calendars,
little cat calendars and stuff.
Calendars, man. So I'm sitting there, and this is how, part of how the Blue Ice thing got started. So I used to go out to the bars and like sing karaoke different places. Mm-hmm. So I was just going. There was no even concept of trying to do it. And so me and my dude Art, we would go to the local bars and just mess around, sing some karaoke. It started getting fun. I was like, oh, okay, this is a nice, cool little. It was a thing, it was popular at the time. I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, around here, it is a big thing, and it's a whole culture. Like there's a group of people that hit every single one, and it's a thing.
Yeah, and that stems back, and I give credit where credit is due, because I feel personally that the individuals that actually made that pop when we were young was like Simply Ed, remember down at Tully's and whatnot, or Quaker Steak and Lube.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was doing that stuff when I was in high school.
Yeah, he was definitely rocking that.
Yeah, so that was kind of my introduction to it. Mm-hmm. Individuals like that, but we would bounce around.
Yeah,
and in doing that, I thought to myself, well, I have all these skill sets that is familiar. So I was talking with one of the guys one time, and I did ask him. I was like, "Yo, how much you make doing this?" That's always the question people want to ask you.
Like, bottom line.
Yeah, but I'm like, "Yo,
was it worth it?
You make money doing this?" Mm-hmm. And so he kind of like, you know how it is. Sometimes you kind of like dance around it a little bit, and trying to get people in your pockets.
Especially you the man. I ain't trying to hand up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like so I'm not giving you that thing, but at the same time, if you're trying to eat, I ain't gonna let you starve.
Yeah, it's like a competition thing, but it's like,
it's like
I still wanna. Yeah.
It's like, let me understand what you're really trying to do before we had this conversation. Mm-hmm. And so he kind of broke it down to me, and I had discovered. I said, maybe this is something that I could do, but just over here or this way, because there was approaches that everybody had that didn't jive with me, and I was like, well, this is something I could do, but if I adjust these elements that I'm seeing that's missing and introduce it, then maybe that's something I could do. Well, let me give it a try. So my dad still had some of his music equipment, and I bought some music equipment, and I bought some like karaoke discs back in the day. First gig I ever had was Tony's Pizza, Tuesday nights.
Tony's Pizza.
8 to 11, I called it Tuesdays at Tony's.
Oh, wow. Beautiful. How old were you?
Oh, so I came back in 03. So I think Tony's was 2004.
You were still at the bookstore?
I think I was. I don't know if I was still at the bookstore. I can't remember. I know I had did a stint at MCI too, which is when it was MCI, then it was Lorica, then it was West, with all that stuff.
You had to be quick with the tongue there.
Over in Niles. Oh,
yeah. I heard about MCI. Yeah, that was an old school StarTel now. Huh?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, back in the day. So, yeah. But so I was still, working that way, but Tony's Pizza was the first gig that I did, just hosting karaoke on Tuesday nights, and then the elements that I learned in college, which I'll cycle back to, I incorporated because I didn't even go by Blue Ice at the time. So that it was just called Blue Ice Promotions.
Oh, okay.
And that stems from my fraternity. So, because I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity.
Okay.
So, and our colors are blue and white. So that's where the blue comes from. Pledging. So, the whole nine. So, step shows. So that's another thing not too many people know is that the Genesis, even this, when I do this, that's my fraternity sign.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I've always throw it up. So
a lot of people are like, oh, that's a devil sign or something.
No, when I throw that up,
okay.
it's just my shout out to Phi Beta Sigma.
Yeah.
All
right. Man, look at that. It's just a little bit of history lesson from Blue Ice for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Know what I mean?
That's how it is. So that's because I've always ended the videos on. I don't know if you ever seen them, but I've always go like that.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
That's what that is.
Okay.
But it's just my homage to my fraternity, which a lot of the entertainment elements that I was able to develop came from the presentation of the step shows. Yeah. I was student government president, learning how to manage a budget for what was called Panther Fest at the time. So learning how to do that, and I incorporated all those things into developing my business.
Wow.
So
it became pretty lucrative, it seemed like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it started with Tony's Pizza on every Tuesday night, and then you end up getting more gigs and.
Yeah. So the progression went Tony's Pizza on Tuesday, then the Act, and that was probably what became most popular for me. Was Act on Sunday nights.
I remember you at the Act. Yeah.
Laddie Sky Club on Saturday nights.
Okay. Yeah.
That was out in Greenville on Wednesday nights. It was Danny's 2, when the original Danny's was in Charlottesville. Then Danny's 2, and then it became Steph's. Illusions. That was the later part. Double A's. Yeah.
So, well, that was when it was going outside of karaoke. You were starting to just rock crowds.
Yeah. So I was doing both, and then it just became this. I was doing karaoke one night, DJing another night.
So when did you quit working at like MTI or whatever and start just DJing all the time?
All right. Well, I didn't DJ. Let me see. So probably maybe around 2000, 2005 maybe. I think I focused 2005, 2006. I think I really started to gain some traction, and then I stopped. Just the miscellaneous jobs. Then I got bored, and so I was like, all right, I got this nightlife, but my daytime, everybody's at work.
Yeah, you ain't got nothing to do.
So I was like, all right, so I got a day job, and so then I went to a whole path of insurance. So another lesson on Blue Ice Fact. I am proficient in all areas of insurance. So I've been in insurance for like 5 years.
Okay.
This is wild stuff, man.
Are you still in insurance right now?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say insurance is a pretty big business.
Yeah, it is.
So a lot of money there.
I was marketing director for a company locally, and I focused on work comp marketing, and then later into home and auto claims. Wow. So it's been a wild ride. I'm the most unorthodox.
Wow, that's crazy.
Individual. That's what there's gonna be mad stuff you're gonna hear today.
Yeah, one of our co-hosts actually works at. Yeah,
right,
so
yeah.
we hear insurance talk all the time from him.
I could do it all day.
Oh yeah. He's they moved him out to nice comfy spot. You know what I mean? So he made it. I guess.
There you go.
He's not not anymore. He's above that. You know what I mean? But so you started just primarily just like doing DJing and so when did the insurance kick in? You said around.
So I'm trying to think because this is when 2009 It's 9. Yeah. So maybe around 2008, 2009 is I kind of got into the insurance industry by accident, just going through a temp agency, and then I kind of just elevated through the company.
Interesting.
And but then after that, I also got disenfranchised with the corporate structure of how things were, and went back into focusing on the entertainment full time. So at that time I left. That's when I went. So I went to YSU, and I finished my degree in theater. That kickstarted the next wave of acting that I had been doing in the area. So most primarily at the Youngstown Playhouse, Oakland Theater downtown in Youngstown. I think I did a gauntlet for 2 years of just straight stage performances.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And this whole time you're still just rocking shows every weekend, and
Yep.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep.
Heck yeah. So did you have a favorite like bar or something that you miss right now that's no longer around? Because I know there's quite a few in the area that just ain't here anymore.
That
Just the crowd, the atmosphere, the bartenders, everything was just off the chain.
Double A's.
Double
in
A's?
Sharpsville.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Right next to Muscarella's.
Okay, yeah.
Because the
Oh, yeah, I seen you there. Man, I saw you was a dancing boy. I swear to God, you was out there.
Yeah. So because that was something truly that came out of my own mind. I walked in there one day.
I was gonna say that was a big thing right there with you. You changed the face of that place, I thought.
Yeah, because it was something different, and the two cornerstones in the area, or I should say cornerstones, the two pillars in the area, were Illusions, George's. That's where everybody go if you local.
Yeah.
I introduced the third element.
Yep.
And it was in Sharpsville of all places, and that's to be clear, that's not a knock on Sharpsville. It's just for the people there.
That's just how it was.
It's just that Sharpsville was not known for being a party spot, number one,
Not at all.
or a popular place people wanted to drive through necessarily when you drink. And there's just certain spots you'd be like, nah, I ain't driving through
Sharpsville.
Nah.
Them cops over there don't play.
It's like I ain't driving through Hubbard.
Yeah.
There's certain places you're not. You'd be like, nah,
Yeah.
they gonna get you.
Yep.
And
I did say that a couple times, wanting to come out there. I was like, I don't know, man. Them cops don't play.
everybody say that, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. But it became this thing where, if you bring something with a good energy and people are enjoying it, it softens perceptions. It softens how people look at things. And I walked into Double A's because I had stopped DJing for maybe a year or two. I don't know if you remember that. There was a stretch, and then I had got into it, and I went into Double A's. And I looked, and I was like, all right, we was talking about doing a karaoke. And they had that back room. And I said, well, what do you do with that back room back there?
Yeah, I remember it was closed off.
Yeah. And so I said, yo, give me that room. And I set it up, put the lights all in there, and I started the promotion train. And so Double A's, for me, the energy of that, I miss Illusions too, but that was already established.
Illusions was something else. Yeah. It was just for the area.
Yeah, for the area. But it was established already. So because I was able to create that same feel and that same energy in a smaller central location, and more importantly in an area where it wouldn't be expected to do that, that's what I miss.
Oh yeah. Double A's was nice. Whatever happened to that? It just kind of I remember you talking about parting ways with it, but I don't remember any reasons. I didn't know if that was kind of.
Yeah, no, the ownership, I think they had some things going on that had to do with the building itself, and the overall management component, and I think that was just something. It ultimately ended up closing, so I didn't leave for any particular reason. Okay. And so I think it was just from things going on from their business, and that maybe weren't going the way they wanted it to.
So they was really primarily only making money on them couple of days that you were there, huh?
Yeah.
Other than that, it was just pretty much just an empty spot.
Yeah, it wasn't.
That's how a lot of places are, it seems, anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the game's changed.
You ever DJ over at Changes?
No.
You ever think about going there?
No, especially not now. The older I get,
Yeah.
less,
Well, see, it's changed now. I mean, he hits me now. It's just an empty building. He lost his liquor license.
Oh, word.
But I mean, he still has a stage and all this equipment. You know what I mean? So if you ever wanted to do something over there, you know what I mean. But anywho,
hey, no, I mean,
it's an option. I thought about that because you have managerial skills. You have, you have definitely the name where people would pull up just to check it out.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean, so if you put something together. Because this guy, he's getting old, so he's going to want to pass it down to somebody. Can you imagine, the Blue Ice whole entertainment business?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think about that too, and I say the older I get, and I just had this conversation with one of my homeboys, and we were sitting there talking about it, and I think maybe you can speak to this too. from, your time, doing it is, what came next?
Yeah.
Who came next? There was never the next man up. It was like, who was it? And maybe I missed it if they were, but I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Who was the next entertainer? Who was the next DJ? Who was the next promoter that came up after us? And I didn't see it locally.
Yeah.
Like I said, I could be mistaken. I could just be out the loop. So I don't want to.
Well, I don't know any local DJs that rock except for like DJ KB.
Yeah.
I mean, but like, not really like he doesn't really, I guess, I don't feel like he's really in like Sharon or Hermitage
in
or
Pittsburgh.
He does TNT every once in a while.
Okay, all right.
But I think that's the only local spot he does.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know any of other DJs out here that really just rock it anymore or have like a little name at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah. From what I remember, it stopped after you.
It would have to be you. You'd have to rock your own shows.
I think about that. I go, it's a younger man's game.
It's so much work though anymore. And then I think about it, it's like, man, that's a lot of work, man.
Yeah. So I'd rather focus on event-based type stuff, one shot. And that's something that I'm focusing on for 2024 is the evolution of Blue Ice Promotions into, Blue Ice Entertainment overall, where it's not just, it's probably more event-based. There's so many other avenues that I'm looking to go down that incorporates, the elements of my theater, the elements of the promotions, the elements of the DJing. I might start doing some weddings again, though. I'm thinking about that.
All right, well, let's start getting into some spicy stuff. Let's talk about these shows that you've been doing. Because I know a lot of the ladies, if some of these ladies are watching this and they just want to know, when did the whole male review situations come? Because you have made your face like the face of that whole thing right there.
This will be year 19.
Wow, that is crazy. I did not know that. I thought it was like maybe 5, 6.
No,
wow.
The first joint was in 2004.
And did you just start DJing them or you running them?
No, so I tell the story and I cannot remember who it was. You just be having those random conversations in the bar sometime. Mm-hmm. People you know or don't know, and it's just somebody say something offhand to you. So I can't remember where I was at, but some girl said to me, I don't know who she was to this day. I'm DJing, I'm entertaining. I don't know if I'm talking on a mic or something. And it's just like a passing conversation. And she says, you ever thought about doing male reviews? And I'm like, what's a male review?
Yeah.
She's like, like this male strippers. And I was like, said, no, never really thought about that. You'd be good at doing something like that.
Wow.
And it was just one of those, I couldn't tell you who that person was to save my life.
Man, so they could be coming to your shows every year.
But I don't think it was somebody that came. It was when they said it, I didn't do it for a while. It was just an idea.
Yeah. Took a while to
Yeah. And so and I'm gonna make sure that all the ladies that are following me on social media, make sure you're checking out this podcast if you're not watching live right now.
We ain't live right now.
Oh, yeah, live.
No, I'm edited up. Make it nice
right.
and shiny.
All right, well, you ladies,
yeah,
you're gonna love this story. So
let's get to this.
All right, so do you remember? So I said, all right, let me try this. I think I can. Now this is being young and not familiar with the elements of how this actually works, because you can take all your talents and all your abilities and be like, oh, okay, I can do that, and I can do this because I'm familiar with this. Nah, it didn't work that way. Remember HBO's Real Sex?
Yeah.
Back in, it was like the early 90s, late 80s or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, there was this guy named Rump Shaker he's like basically the godfather of the dance game in Cleveland, way back in the day. Like our grandparents have probably that type stuff.
Yeah, I remember.
Or our parents when they was young, but he was on an episode of HBO's Real Sex.
Okay, I remember that show.
Right,
being a kid trying to watch the dude scramble sometimes.
Yeah. The scrambler and stuff. So he was on like an episode of that, and he had got nationwide notoriety, but he was based out of Cleveland. So I'm not familiar with the game like that, but I did some internet research, got the number or whatever, and I called him to come down. First show I ever did was at Tiffany's. And so I never DJ'd them. I ran sound for a couple of them until I started actually kind of hosting them. So I have done early shows where you get a group of 4 guys and one of them happened to be the MC and you kind of just facilitate it. So it started from a miscellaneous conversation and then me just trying to make some phone calls, understanding how it worked. And they said, well, basically, this is what we do. This is what you pay. This is how we come down. This is what happens. I bet. Not being familiar with how to actually market and promote, the show tanked.
Oh.
So
the first one didn't do too good?
No,
lost all your money?
There's 50 girls. I was like 2,000 in the hole.
Oh.
Yeah, it was bad.
Ouch.
And I was a young man, so I was like, man, I ain't doing this again.
Hey, that happens though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that was the first ever show, but it started from a happens to chance conversation.
Wow.
You know.
So you never know what somebody's gonna fill you up with. You know what I mean? Some could be some good knowledge or just a good thought.
Yeah, just
you know what I mean. That's what I would have never thought. Just a simple conversation would lead you down a 19-year path. You know, that's definitely that's an interesting story. So so the first one tanked, and how long did it take? You just tried another one the next year?
2 years later,
okay.
2.5 years later.
Scared you?
Yeah, I was like, I'm good. You know, it was a humbling, embarrassing situation.
So it was all your money. You were the only one.
Yeah, that's how it always is. I'm the
only. So every single one of these has all been you.
All me.
Wow. See, I didn't know that. I thought thought you had a big source behind you or something.
Nope.
Wow.
Nope.
Okay.
I win or I lose.
Wow.
It's all me. That there is no. I have people who work the events for me, but as far as the marketing, the promotion, the money behind it, like the whole thing, the negotiations, the booking, the flights, all that, all me.
Wow. So do you reach out? Is it like a company that just fills you up with all the guys, or you have individual relationships with each person?
Well, now it's individual relationships.
Okay.
So going back to the 2.5 years later, I'm DJing at Laddie Scott Club, and they have a back room back there that they was using for private parties, but they weren't really using it too much. And I asked them because I was their DJ on Saturdays. I said, "Yo, you doing anything with that room? Could I, do something back there?" And I had marketed a review, and this is, the old style was, kind of like what I call the Vegas style, the Magic Mike style. You got the four guys, the choreographed routines and all that. I was doing some internet research, found a random group out of New Jersey who had brought their sound system and 4 guys, and they emceed it. And I paid them to bring the show in, and I just worked the door, taking the tickets and whatnot, marketed it on Facebook and in the Sharon Herald on Thursdays, the entertainment section with a little ad, a little 4x5 ad, and you couldn't track what was going to happen. I think 125 girls showed up at the door.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know what to do. I was not prepared, and it took off, and I was like, all right, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
And then I did one agreement. Then I started doing them like once a year, and I was like, oh, okay. And
more and more keep showing up every year?
Yep. So, and then I did them I got to the point where I started now, instead of just doing the touring group, I was like, okay, are there guys locally? So I worked with some guys out of Pittsburgh, some guys out of Cleveland. And then I'm like, all right, then it expanded. There's guys nationwide. Well, let me make this call. Well, this guy has a manager. So we're getting away from the Vegas style more to the East Coast style. East Coast style is individualized sets. In each individual dancer comes and does their own thing.
Okay.
So I said, well, let me do a hybrid. Mind you, I'm creating this having never seen one. It's just what's in my head.
Yeah, because I would have no idea.
Because you ask yourself, well, how do you do that?
Yeah.
And you're a guy on top of that. That was always a big thing. And I used to get so much heat for that.
People talking spicy about you, like, yo, why you checking out?
Yeah.
Well, that's part of your job, kind of. You gotta know your.
But it was less about. I think it was a stigma that was created out of nowhere, and it was like, yo, why don't you bring girls? And I'm like, you're not understanding basic economics of this. Not really. I said that number one, there's strip clubs everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Dime a dozen.
I said, and the way I used to explain it is this, from a financial standpoint. I said, when guys go out, right, you go to the strip club, your objective is different in the strip club.
Yeah.
Than a woman's objective in a similar situation. Not women that are going to a female strip club, but women that are seeing male strippers. Or exotic entertainers, whatever the term you want to use. And I'd say, if a man comes in, how much money is he spending on whatever he's doing? He might grab his drink, might grab a drink or two, unless he's buying around or something, but individually. I said, but the same woman is going to come in here with her girls. They're all going to drink like 5 or 6 drinks.
Yep.
The economics are different.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with DJing. When you promote yourself as an entertainer, as a DJ, are you trying to get all your homeboys in there? Or are you trying to get all the girls in there?
Trying to get all the ladies in there.
All right.
They dance,
So who's your market? You know, and so that's kind of how I explained it. And understanding, you know, my female audience, which I've developed over the years, having those conversations, taking the artistic approach from stage, costuming, presentation, music, and looking at all those things, I can look at an entertainer and go, at how they treat people, and I can go, all right, you can do something that can generate some activity or some buzz. I can market this, you know, and that's kind of how, that was the approach I always took, but everybody else kind of looked at it abstract. Like, yo, what the hell? And I'm like, you don't get it. So the ball started rolling. It got bigger and bigger until I started working with entertainers from all over the country.
Wow. So you still only doing it once a year? Yeah,
so I did it last year. And the next show is November 11th at Tiffany's in Brookfield.
Okay, it's coming up here soon.
Coming up, 2.5 weeks.
When are you gonna let me shoot the documentary?
You know, I actually thought about
That'd be fire.
I actually thought about that. I actually thought about doing a documentary because I'm so plugged in with all the entertainers from around the country. I've been to some of their shows out of state. Like my one homeboy, he goes by the name of HellRazor. This dude is we super tight now, like brothers, man. And this guy he is reaching international levels for his entertainment style and approach.
Oh, okay.
And so I've actually gone down to, you know, one of his events that he has hosted. And just to, you know, you step out and he's in Atlanta. So I'm in Atlanta checking the city out and seeing. And the energy, it was cool to see because I was like, oh, I'm in this area and generating some similar energy for something in the city. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But to be able to see that, so I'm plugged in with the entertainers, and I said, yo, there's been a couple of documentaries. I think one's on Amazon Prime, actually.
Okay.
That does that, but there was something I thought about doing.
Yeah. Just, you know, the Blue Ice whole you know, have your logo real big on it. The show's about you and how you run your enterprise. You know what I mean?
Some backstage stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know,
kind of just like the whole setup, you know, from the beginning to the end of getting this whole thing ready, getting everybody lined up.
I just thought about that, man. I mean? I was like...
It's almost like a strip club in the background. Like, all right, come on, what's his name at?
Yeah. I was like, you know, when you sit back and go, hey, this is what it looks like. And it's a great experience for the ladies. You know, it's I always tell people it's not what you think it is.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, because a lot of people, they probably think like Dancing Bear type style. Like, I don't know if you
know
Dancing.
Exactly. Listen,
you heard the Dancing Bear. That thing was pretty popular for a while. And like, you know what I mean?
I've used that. I've used that exact analogy. Because there are a lot of, my boyfriend, my husband don't want me to go.
Let me get their dicks in my face and shit.
I don't push that. Now, there are shows that kind of stuff occurs. Not mine.
Okay.
You know.
So you don't get full like X-rated. No, it's just entertainment.
Yeah, there is no nudity whatsoever.
Okay,
now
they wear some risky ass pants though or something.
Absolutely.
They got the little elephant stuff on.
Yeah, the sleeve and whatnot.
Oh snap!
But not all of them. Some of them do. Some of them. Yeah. Because I've made like I said, I made a hybrid show, so it's whatever the entertainer's style is. But no, my show is non-nude.
Okay.
You know,
okay. Yeah. See, that's a lot of people probably wondered that. I wasn't sure. I kind of assumed it was just, you know, salons everywhere. You know what I mean?
But as a guy, because you sit there, what are the possibilities that you would even be in that environment to know?
Yeah.
You know, other than what you see on the internet. And so no, there is no nudity, and you also have to be careful of those things because every city has its own ordinance that says you can either do it or not do it. It's zoned in this area or isn't, and if you don't follow that, they can shut you down.
Yeah.
So, do your research.
So, fellas, if you're watching this, just know that your ladies are not seeing salons at these shows. They're just enjoying themselves, have some drinks with their girls, and tipping some big muscular dude.
Listen, I have this is some real stuff. I have husbands, boyfriends that bring their wives to the show, give them money, drop them off, and come back and pick them up. I've had conversations with husbands and boyfriends.
They shake your hand and thank you, don't they?
And this is why, because I say, listen, they're going to be in a safe environment. I'm sending your woman back home to you in an elevated state. And she's ready for you. Yeah. She's coming home to you.
It's like she ate 48 oysters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's ready for you, boy.
Yeah, she's ready. I'm like, yo, I got him.
Yeah.
I got him. Don't worry. I'm not going to violate.
She's gonna tear you up.
Yeah, I'm not going to violate your lady.
Yeah.
You know.
Nice and protected.
Yeah.
That's a good way to say it, because I mean, a lot of people don't think about that. You know, that came down conversation we had about would you let Chris Brown serenade your girl on stage in front of everybody? And it's like, a lot of people are like, yeah, my girl's still coming home with me. I get to take that home. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and I do get it. Someone had given me the analogy once from a female standpoint for somebody that was working the show with me. It was like, I don't like the idea, because I do have my dudes that work the door, and I do have security there. I have the police there. So the cops are even there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So at the door. And what was presented to me by a woman for somebody that was working my show was, I don't like the idea of my man being dangled like a carrot. Because there's a lot of ladies there too. And ladies can come try to holler at you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, well, because you got a room full of, you know.
Yeah, and so it's like every guy is fair game, you know, in their mind. But they're having fun. But it's still an uncomfortable situation. So I kind of flipped the inverse of that and said, all right, I can get why a man isn't going to be necessarily too comfortable with that, you know, as a woman wouldn't be. But I think the dynamic is thoroughly explaining what that is. And it's a safe environment. There's an officer there. There's staff there. If you know my brother, he be at the door. So it ain't popping no way you think. So it ain't popping no way you think.
Wow.
And then the entertainers come in. Ladies come in. They got their tables. They get their drinks. You know, I host the show. I MC the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
I bring them out. I keep it rolling.
Get them in there, feeling nice and warm, comfortable.
Yep. I talk
welcome,
to them.
yeah.
Welcome. I get it cracking, and then show's over. Ladies go home to their man. You know, you always gonna have some that gonna be on some slick
we
stuff.
going somewhere. Oh
yeah. Where the
They're
after
like
party at?
trying to tip these guys to go after.
Yeah, where the after party at?
Yeah.
There isn't.
It's like, listen, we ain't prostitutes, guys. So we ain't into that kind of stuff.
I'll be like, yo, now, entertainers do their own private parties outside of, you know, the regular shows that they do. And I'm like, yo, whatever business y'all transact as far as like a private party, let's say there's a birthday party or something.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, all right, maybe they want the guy for an hour to you know, perform or something like that. And this isn't sexual stuff. It's like legit, like if you get a stripper for your birthday party. Well, they happen to be in town. This dude is from out of state. You think he ain't gonna go do a quick private and make his money? He might not, but that's on him.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah, you don't care about none of that.
That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Okay.
You know.
You ever think about renting them out?
But they have their own managers.
Okay, so it's really you're renting them pretty much for your event then.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So,
okay.
So every entertainer, with the exception of one, because I did with him direct, all have managers. Now, I still speak with the entertainers, but if I want to book them regardless, it's like if I'm talking to you and I'll be like, all right, hey, I want to book you for some joint, you'll be like, yo, talk to my manager, even though I'm talking to you right here, because that person is managing all your financial business affairs. So regardless.
I don't know what days I'm free, so you got to talk to my man.
Yeah, but it ain't nothing personal. You know, I'll still talk to you on the phone and it'd be like, all right, we still chopping it up, but handle that over there.
Yeah.
And so that's how it go.
Okay. You ever think about starting a management company?
I did, and I realized the levels and layers into that.
You ain't ready for that. You just want to throw the shows and go home.
It's like, nah, because you're dealing with. I do it once, you know, and I'm dealing with them. When you're dealing with having 3, 4, 5 guys that are flying 2, 3 nights a week in different cities with different promoters, and this one's coming in Friday at this show, and then
it's on the phone all day,
you got to overlap flights and do that. Then if an issue happens and you on call, and it's a lot of stuff to go into that.
Man, yeah, I guess that is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, you ever think about going, doing shows in different cities? Just like maybe having like a little tour?
I have, and I've even been presented with that. The challenge of that was, one, I had stopped entertaining for a while. And the challenge of that, it was a challenge that I wasn't ready to undertake, which is the development of a new audience in an area that I have no knowledge of. And so I think that a lot of times, and this is with anything in entertainment, is there's an assumption made that just because it's hot, if you bring it, they will come.
Yeah.
That's not fully true. You know, if it's hot enough, then everybody will want it, and then you can bring it. But if you just bring it because one person said it's hot, no, it doesn't matter. It's like somebody going out to the club or something. Oh, you need to come you need to bring that thing here. You need to bring that artist here.
Yeah.
It's like, it ain't gonna pop.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard with not like having TV style commercials, I feel. You know what I mean? Do you think like an old school TV commercial, like people watch TV back in the day, there was, you could be able to put, an advertisement for like, the male review show and this and that, you know what I mean? But now you put it on the internet and only like your local audience is going to see it. You know what I mean?
And I think with social media now, the avenue is there, to expand. I was experimenting on TikTok and went viral for some motivational stuff.
Okay.
And so I was like, I said, so this can be a tool, but the platforms are now limiting you within your audience.
Yeah.
And so if I want to get it out there, it's like, now I got to pay for it. I still got to pay for advertising.
Yo, it's tough. Yeah. We've been going through the same stuff with this little podcast of ours, trying to grow it, you know what I mean? And, I feel like we're restricted within our little audience here, and it's like I'm trying to grow, but it's, so I definitely feel your pain on that one.
It is. As I started to experiment the last time I did a show with Facebook advertising. It actually works. It actually generates some activity, so that will pay some dividends depending on how you set up the strategy. But you are boxed in for the most part. So let's say I wanted to do a show in Pittsburgh, for example.
Yeah,
I'm sure the venues are there. I'm sure the market is there. But just because it exists also doesn't mean I know how to tap into it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the thing. You should bring a show to Erie. The girls will come. It doesn't work that way. You're saying it because you're excited about it.
Yeah.
And I challenge, there's only a handful of girls that can do this, and I've seen it over the years. I say, well, if you think the girl, it's easy to do. I tell you what, gather up 10 of your girls and come to my show. And watch how hard it is to get 10 of your female friends together.
Facts, man.
Right. And because we would come. I know very few women that got 10 friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not gonna work the way you think.
Unless they're like young, like 21, 22. Like it's tough to get your homies to be all like, get in the group.
So you get the squad together, like, or it'd be a combination of squads. So there's some girls local that support coming like 15, 17 deep to the show.
Yeah.
So all right.
Yeah, well, that's always a good thing, you know what I mean? So I definitely understand the whole aspect of not being able to travel, I guess. I mean, it's a thought, but it's kind of like, it's almost like a pipe dream kind of deal. Because, like, I mean, in my mind, it's like I go there and I rock them like I normally do. But a lot of people are not going to probably be aware of what it is until, just like a couple of years in development after being there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So.
And but to your point, with social media, could you do it? The investment, the upfront investment, it's basically a cost of benefit analysis. It's going, what's the probability of this being successful? With me having no knowledge, could I find a venue? Yeah. Could I market it and blast it out? Yeah. But what do I really know about that area? And it's just like when companies, because all the stuff that we want in the Shenango Valley as far as restaurants or whatever, we sit there and go, they need to bring this restaurant here, Olive Garden, whatever it is. And then they don't. They just build another Dollar General. Yeah. And you go, why they doing that? Maybe that company saw something, whether we agree with it or not, that said,
Dollar General will be more profitable.
It's like, I don't see
a steak and shake.
It looks nice on paper, but we probably need to give you another Starbucks.
Yeah. Well, because Starbucks be booming. Yeah. And then we put another one in, and that one's booming too. And so, I'm about to put a third one in.
That's why they're looking at it and going, "See, we told you. This is what y'all do."
Yeah. That's definitely a good point. You know what I mean? So this one coming up here. Also, I got some questions. I'm just curious about over the years, 19 years of crazy. What's the wildest moment that has happened in the history of male reviews?
All right, I just did this when I was on Facebook on my live. Okay. I did a live and I didn't save it, but I told 3 stories.
Okay, here we go.
But the number one, what we're gonna not say stories, we're gonna go moments.
Okay, yeah, I want individual moments.
Individual moments. The craziest moment that I have ever seen at Nights of Seduction was I used to do hot seats, and girls would pay to get on the stage and be part of the performance. All right. And I'm not gonna air nobody out as far as names and anything like that or where he was from, but girl was on stage, and the guys will touch you, you know what I'm saying, but it's permissive, you know, and it's not there's no nudity involved, they're not gonna expose the woman. But if they'll simulate, like if I'm grabbing your thigh, make it look like whatever, and she orgasmed on stage, full on soaked in front of the pants.
Oh wow,
it was wild. I was like, yo, did that just happen? That really just happened.
Yeah, see, that's why you need cameras up in there.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody got. Well, see, I think this was back before the social media. And whatnot.
Oh, okay.
So
before like viralness was really a thing.
So no, it definitely was, because otherwise somebody would have posted that.
Yeah,
but now girls can have their cameras and stuff, and girls do take video. But it's one of those things. I have a rule: is it's hard to contain, because a lot of places be like no video, no cameras. It's so hard.
Yeah. Because you want to capture the moment.
Right. So what I try to tell the ladies is, hey, don't go live. Don't stream it.
Yeah.
Don't do that stuff. And don't post nothing that you wouldn't want somebody to post of you in an awkward situation. But I also tell girls, don't get on stage neither if you don't want to.
You ain't prepared to be, all eyes on you.
Right. Because the guys can't just snatch you up and make you be part of something you don't want to.
Yeah.
They'll be like, hey, there's subtle ways to communicate that and let a girl know, what's going on, and, ask if it's all right. But it's mostly like if they pick you up, troll you around kind of stuff, or flipping you, they're going, this is
listen, they gotta be strong, dog. I'm not gonna, no shade on any beautiful ladies, but listen, I've seen these fellas, and dog, they've seen them pick up some big girls.
Yeah,
because I love big girls, but I'm just saying, like, the weight wise, it's gotta be.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff,
some questionable.
Some stuff, I was like, oh.
Like, you a brave soul, son.
But I think it adds so much layers and dynamic, to the event. So
yeah. Well, listen. It doesn't matter really what size they are, because a lot of them are awesome ass people. Like actually, I knew the chick that I saw in the picture. I was saying, and she's cool as hell though. It's just like my man picked her up and had him on her face type deal, dog. That shit. I was like, wow.
Yeah, they perfect their craft, man.
Yeah, that's true showmanship right there. Yeah, dedication to the craft.
There you go. How you do it? But that was the wildest stuff I ever saw real time. I did have a guy whose joint fell off. His outfit fell off.
Oh,
so like real time was like, oh, yeah. So because you can't be nude. So it's like, yo, I've had that happen a couple times. And it's like, yo, throw the towel real quick, because you can't do that. Mm-hmm. And a guy making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich out of a girl's foot. That was crazy. That was some wild shit. I was like, what the fuck? It was more it was designed to be like wild and funny, and he played to the audience for that, because it was like, wow. It was like, oh, that's crazy. That's kind of gross too, but yeah. So, but it was those moments just kind of like stick out. But that one for sure.
Wow.
When she
on stage,
she had an orgasm on stage, and
she was a squirter, obviously.
Yes. When she stood up.
Wow.
And I was like, yo, did that really just happen?
Wow.
Audience is going nuts, and I'm like,
she still come to the shows to this day?
She came to another couple. I haven't seen her in a while.
Okay.
But,
Probably got married now, chilling out.
Maybe.
Yeah, somebody contain that one. Yeah, that's
that was a memory for sure.
Wow. She should start putting her own shows on. Damn.
Yeah, so.
All right. So you ever had any kind of drama? Anybody trying to fight outside? Some drunk guy like, I know my girl's in there making out or something.
I've never had any drama from guys showing up, altercations and things of that nature, and I think that also stems from the properly managing, conflict or potential conflict for your event, having an understanding of what could happen. Mm-hmm. And it's never actually happened, but also people know that I have, Brookfield police sitting right there.
So don't you come in here with that?
So you're not, and even if you want a girl coming in, don't come in there with that. Guys at the front, they've been doing this for a while, and if there's an issue going on inside the show, so I've had some minor things happen at the show. I had a girl throw a drink at a dancer one time.
Oh man!
Off to the side. It wasn't even during the performance.
They were just conversating.
Yeah, and there was some exchange, and she threw him on it. And I will say this: I will have somebody removed. So I have removed women from the show before for unruly behavior, so to speak. Mm-hmm. I've had the only other type of conflict I've had business conflicts that escalated to the point of confrontation, where we was about to bang in the middle at the end of a show over business, when it was all said and done, because they didn't fulfill the obligations of their contract, and as a result of it, I enforced provisions of the contract that they weren't too happy with, and then
you're talking about like dancers.
Oh yeah, it was entertainers.
Okay,
so
he didn't do what he was supposed to be doing all day.
Right, and so But I put fail safes in contracts like that. It's like, no, because I'm protecting my, and I never forget he said, man, fuck that contract. I was like,
what's
what?
the point of having a contract?
That's
yeah.
what I said. I'm like, what's the point? It only works when, you signed this, dog.
What's the point of this?
We know what it is. So, but that's the only type of conflict that I've ever really had, because I generally, even from, DJing and entertaining, I've had a couple of, I can count the conflicts that I've had.
Yeah, well, that's good. Because I know sometimes at the bars it get a little wild, but I would think women sometimes get a little more messy, but thank God, because, I mean, that many women, man, if they started all brawling, it'd be pretty wild.
Oh, it'd be ugly, but that's why you have the people that you have. And like I said, not that it can't.
Crowd control you have.
Yeah, crowd control. It's not that you can't have it, but it's also the intention. What is the purpose of this event? And I think, I would like to believe that over the years that I have cultivated a level of respect from people who have loved or supported the things that I've done, and the testament of my own integrity speaks to how people act or engage when I'm doing something.
Yeah, I have to say, from what the crowd that I've seen that you have a crowd that respects each other more. You know what I mean? As in, like, nobody's here for none of that. And you don't play none of that hype. Let's fight in the club type stuff. You play that lover music.
Yeah, and it's like that. Because what I always want to achieve is a sharing. I want to share an experience. I want to create a memory that you take with you. The greatest thing that you can ever create on this earth, and this is one of my mantras in life. The only thing and the greatest thing that you can create on this earth that can never be destroyed is a memory. It's a memorable experience. And if I give that to you, I endure. That's legacy.
Beautiful.
And that's what this is about. When you go into this, what is your purpose in doing what you're doing? Like, oh, you out here just throwing these strippers. No, I am creating an environment that allows every woman on this earth to feel, know, and embrace the fact that she is worthy, that she is beautiful, that she is desirable, and that above all, that she is deserving of love and admiration and physical affection on any level. Doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter what you have. And that is what the Night of Seduction Male Review is about. It is about creating this thing. This just happens to be the entertainment that we're doing. But when you come in there, that's what it is. And that's the thing that people gravitate towards. Now, some people come in there, it's like, yo, we coming to see some dick swing.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
You ever have anybody get mad that they didn't see any dicks?
Not mad. I think some people coming from different cities, they're used to that.
Oh man, I thought we were about to see some dicks.
Yeah, they're used to it, and it didn't happen. It was like, oh, that was weird.
Like, I'm sure you guys don't have a problem finding somebody to send you some dick pics.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, y'all apparently y'all don't like that. But yeah, no, nobody's ever gotten angry at that.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I always wondered if, because I know girls are messy, so I was always just curious, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it seems like it's a definitely well put together show. It's definitely a good vibe. So nobody's really on none of that stuff. It's all fun. Have a great time. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the dancers. The dancers there for fun. Ain't nobody on none of that bad time.
Yeah, no, not at all, man.
It's definitely a good vibe from what I saw. I have never been there.
Yeah.
So you don't actually allow men in there, do you?
Yeah, I say this. It's like it's the show is for women. It's designed for women. I try to. The reason that I do it that way is if I allow your husband or boyfriend to come in there and you're in there, I increase the probability of a domestic situation.
Yes.
And I'm trying to keep that to a minimum. Cause I really got no shade on nobody to come and do that. But I'm going, if you coming out for a ladies' night out, and let's just keep it a buck, is that a lot of ladies out there is in some really, really toxic ass relationships, some volatile relationships. Yeah. And some people might sneak off and go to the show with their girls saying they doing something. I've had girls do that, and my man don't know I'm here.
Girl, you about to get us all killed.
And this is why I have security out front.
Yeah, because girls like you.
Yeah, because it's like this is going to escalate.
Like, is this really worth lying to your man for? Like you ain't getting nothing out of here, but
it's like
you can watch this on YouTube at the end of the day if you had to.
It ain't that serious, and I don't push nobody into it. I promote heavy, and I'll ask. I'm a guy to say the truth. It don't matter what it is. That no mean no. It's like this. If I ask you something, you be like, "Nah, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't asking you again."
Yeah.
You know, because I respect the fact that I'm not gonna knock you if you feel that your relationship is set a certain way. And this transcends the show. It got to do with friendships. If you believe that something is going to be detrimental to your relationship in any capacity, and my engagement or involvement will cause that to be negative, then I'm like, all right, cool. All right, well, there's other things that I'll be doing in 2024 or in the future that maybe both of y'all can be part of. So
yeah. I mean, listen, we'll see. I feel like it's better that you don't have men all up in there because there's a number of factors. That domestic violence, that's a big factor. I didn't even put it in account, but also, filling up a room with, girls that are already in the mood. You're going to put a bunch of just random dudes in there. That's going to take away some of the element from the male dancers, You got this dude over here trying to holler at every girl that's looking hot. Right. You know what I mean? It's
and that goes to the thing. Every woman, and this is one, knowing your audience, and a lot of guys don't take time to know their audience. And I used to take heat for that at Illusions. It's like, oh, he trying to holler at all these girls. I always say, what is my reputation? Tell me something negative about my reputation. Tell me something negative that you're aware of about me that, says, yo, he's not a good guy.
Yeah.
I challenge anybody for that.
Yeah.
Not to say that there might be one or two people like, yeah, I don't like that dude. But why don't you like him?
But that's personal opinion. Yeah.
Right. But just general.
Factual, yeah, there's nothing wrong.
If you just look at it in general, you'll go, the phrase people always usually associate with me is, oh yeah, he a cool ass dude.
Yeah. I've never heard no smut on your name ever.
Right, because so I would take heat because of how I would engage or whatever. But I was never disrespectful.
Most of the time, it's how he ain't playing my song after that dude.
Yeah, it was that. But
I got that stuff all the time.
Stuff, or sometimes it'd be like girls be at the DJ booth. Dude, I'm not. I flirt like everybody else flirt.
Yeah.
When you in the booth for me, that's what you do. Bartenders. Do.
That's what. Yeah. That's what you do with the ladies.
You in the moment and then you in the mood.
You're the man right now. They want a part of that. So of course they're gonna.
So, but it's like on some. What I always look at it like this. Why are you here? Okay. You a dude. I'm the DJ here. This is my show, right? So, why are you here though? Like we said earlier, you here because the girls is here.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, who brought them?
What's your ass?
Right. I brought them.
Yeah.
But I brought them not because I'm on some stuff. I brought them because there's two things. There's the business element to it, which is we know how money works and how money flows through the bar. And then the other element is, all right, how do we create this energy? And the way that this goes is this is who you market to. You're not gonna sit there and market to a bunch of dudes with the hope of getting a bunch of girls to come to the club.
Yeah. That I learned that beginning early.
So it's like,
you can't get guys don't get you nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my dudes to come in here. Each one of y'all gonna have a beer.
Yeah, just stand here waiting for girls.
And the bar looking at me like
never show up.
Right, and the bar looking at me like we ain't making no money. I can't keep. Man, hold up. Let me give you this. Let me give you the recipe to this blue juice that I got.
Ooh.
Yeah, which I did at Double A's.
Yeah, I heard about this blue. I didn't even try none, but I wanted to. But
I've
seen it on Facebook, and you talk about it.
Yeah, it's my fraternity drink.
Man, so that's where you got
blue
it from.
ice. So that everything blue is from that. Blue ice came from something in my pledge process. When I was online, and it was blue ice, and so the name actually came. I was doing Blue Ice promotions, and some guy came up, "What's up, Blue Ice?" And I was like, "There it is." Again, something happens random. He just called me Blue Ice because I was saying this is Blue Ice promotions, and he just called me, "Oh, what up, Blue Ice?"
That's how it started.
And I said, "DJ Blue Ice, there it is."
Hey, and ever since then,
that's how it went.
Wow. Yeah. So we were talking about not allowing the guys to come into the shows, and and then how a lot of them think them coming to your booth, thinking you flirting with them, and but a lot of times shooting for the guys, you're right, it doesn't get you anywhere, because it's just gonna be a bunch of dudes trying to hang out looking for girls anyway. So you bring the girls and they'll bring everything else. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. And so to your point earlier about distracting from the vibe and having guys in there, that's the whole thing. They're in there to not deal with a dude chirping in their ear, or 5-6 dudes chirping in their ear trying to get at them. They actually want to be with their girls and maybe do a little chirping themselves for fun.
They're the chirping now.
For fun. But the numbers don't add up. It's like, man, my girl ain't going here, this, that, and the third. It's like 5 of us, 300 of them, 200 of them, whichever the numbers may be. It's like the math don't add up. Your girl's coming home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, we can't handle them all.
Yeah, she's coming home.
Yeah. So hold on, let's get back to this. So here's a question I gotta know.
Any question that you want.
Here it is. This is because I know a lot of the ladies want to know this.
Oh boy, here we go.
Is there a Mrs. Ice?
There is not.
No Miss Ice. All right, so Blue Ice is solo dolo.
Yeah, I don't think ladies really want. Maybe they wanted to know that, but no.
Listen, man, I've seen some clips from that commercial you just put out. I saw you dancing. Listen, I'm sure there's some ladies that is interested in my man Blue Ice.
No, they flirt all the time.
I'm sure.
Yeah, girls. When you are doing promotions and things like that, you're going to generate that activity, and for the most part, I think it's in good fun. I think there's always gonna be people that be like, I'm joking, but I'm serious. Yeah. But it's you'll get that banter sometimes, and I think it also depends on where you are in life and how you engage it. I would probably say how I engage it now probably wouldn't have been how I engaged it 20 years ago. But then you also, the decisions that you make and how you navigate, interpersonal relationships, will change, and But for the most part, you'll get that activity, and there's some flirting going on, but no, there's no Mrs. Ice.
Sometimes it's not worth escalating a relationship with one of your fan type deal. One of your local favorites. Then it's like you take it further, and then it changes the aspect of the relationship. Next thing you know, they talking crap on you now to all the other fans of yours. You know what I mean? So
and so it's a thing, but I try to engage. Don't get me wrong. I'm a guy, and at the end of the day, I'm a flirt like everybody else. It's there's levels to it.
You probably get girls trying to take you home at the end of them shows, don't you?
Yeah, that's how they be like, yo, so what you doing?
Yeah, like waiting for you to get the hell out.
Yeah, because like I gotta
shut this down and pay everybody.
Shut this down. I gotta pay everybody. I gotta get them back to. I gotta take them to the airport in the morning.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of work, man. That's one of the reasons I quit DJing, because it was like, man, I was first one here, last one to leave. Always having to clean up my mess, everybody else's mess. Putting stuff on my equipment and whatnot. Yeah. I don't know. I was feeling like I was getting too old for all that.
Yeah, that's how I started to feel. I did the last wedding I DJ'd was in 2017. I want to say, I think I did the wedding in October, and then I did what was going to be my retirement show from the reviews in November, and then I went back into insurance, and then COVID hit, and I started doing different miscellaneous things, and I said, man, let me give this another hurrah. Because sometimes, I tell people, follow your passion. Yeah. I'm built for this. I'm built to entertain. I'm built not for DJing, not for reviews. I'm built to entertain overall. So, which is the genesis of, everything that I'm doing. So one of these things right here, this is something that's been on my, the podcasting thing has been something that's been a concept that I've had in my head, probably going back to, I want to say, maybe prior to my maybe right before Double A's, I think, because I had this idea called Blue Ice TV I wanted to do, and I never really got the traction to try to develop it with YouTube the way I wanted to back then. Yeah. But then the advent of social media caught up to my vision, and now there's things I'm like, all right, now my ideas can manifest. So
I definitely suggest taking a hold of that and doing it as soon as possible. Yeah. Because it's just like that. I felt the same way. I've been working on the shows for like probably 15, 20 years, but that was, before YouTube and streaming really was a thing. I was trying to do radio shows. And it's like, I just want to talk to people. I want to interact. I want to, it's like DJing, but like over the internet.
Yeah, see, we come from the same cloth on that. I can just as I hear us speaking, this, I see it, but it's not existing to me. Because to me, it's like a natural organic flow. Yeah. So so I will say that to you. You have that natural. I feel you built for this. Yeah, well, I'm trying to do something with this. When I'm hearing you, I'm like, this is that rhythm, that cadence, the question, the way that you ask your questions, the way that you engage. It's like, you in your lane right here. you know.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to develop a team. You know what I mean? It's sometimes it's difficult. You know, I've gained some people, I've lost some people. You know, but I vowed to give this a year, and I'm still in my first year. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? We started in my bedroom with a green screen. You know, I built this on some gambling money I won. You know what I mean? So I was like, here's my God gave me some loot, so let's build this.
That's how you do it. I wish I love to have those money conversations with people too, and on some. When you find money, what you doing with it?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, go ahead and fund that dream real quick. Go ahead and fund that education. Because you had a little something extra.
Yep.
Go ahead and make that investment. Because at the end of the day, no matter what happens, you never lose.
Yeah.
You learn that, A, I was right, and I can excel at this, or that wasn't the path for me, but that's good that I learned that.
Yeah.
So let me focus on some other paths.
Yeah.
But people don't want to, it's like you get this bread, and I go, how do you make your money make you money?
Yeah.
How do you make this money build upon itself?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it'll work. You know what I mean? Like this time next year, I'll definitely be monetized. Should be making decent money, and I'll probably not quit my job money, but I'll be, you know, it's getting there. You know what I'm saying? You know, and the more time I spend on camera, more time people learn who I am and start to develop a little, you know, like to watch me and, you know, see what's going on in my world, in my life, and, you know, stuff like that. It happens. It works. You know what I mean? So I'm still trying to develop that whole kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And trying to get a team behind me too. You know, I got a couple guys. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the team building is so hard, man. It is so hard in anything you're doing.
It's tough.
Because you got, it's a hybrid of experience, somebody being experienced in what they're doing, and then being able to trust the people who also have the experience. And for the duration, not just in this moment. Because when this pick up, now what we doing?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Then sometimes dealing with egos.
Yeah.
Egos is tough, you know what I mean? But it's like, you know, I want somebody to have something going on for themselves before they step in here. Right. Because it's the worst thing to do is to sit down here with somebody and try to have a conversation, and the only thing that they can do is, yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. It's like, well, tell me a story. I don't know. I ain't really got nothing. It's like, well, what you do this weekend? No, not really nothing. It's like, well, you know, what's up? What you want to talk about? I don't know what you got. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, man.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? But...
Okay. Have something, man. And that comes from the experience of life and taking those risks and
that's exactly what I said.
Taking those, you know, opportunities.
If somebody hasn't lived, they don't have nothing to talk about.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like if you don't have a life, you ain't got no life experiences. You ain't got nothing to tell me new, nothing. Like, what are your conversations even like? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could go on. I can be a human talk box, and it's like, because there's so much to draw from, and I don't consider my life extraordinary by any means, but what I've done with it or what I've experienced with it has given me, you know, these memorable moments that I can share or talk about or translate into a lesson or opportunity for somebody else to elevate or learn, you know, or just have some conversation on some, hey, what you think about this?
Yes, man. We're definitely gonna have to get you in here with the crew. You know what I mean? With me and the whole gang in here. Definitely have some good conversations. Maybe we'll schedule it for maybe a day that you can come through. All right. You know what I'm saying? Anytime during the weekend, you know what I mean? Because, you know, it's all good. Not everybody's made to interview. Not everybody's made to sit on the camera and just talk. You know what I mean? A lot of people kind of just need a little boost or a little spark to conversate off of.
Yeah. You know, and I'm also good at it. I'll fire back. You know, it's like, yo, you keep it going. Everybody got something they think. That don't mean everybody got to be, you know, saying this or saying that. Because sometimes as a conversation go, it'll trigger something in somebody else. Go, oh, you know what? That, like you said, I got this question.
Yep, sparking these ideas. Yep.
So,
See, that's what conversations are good for. Because I like to. Sometimes I don't think about stuff until like we're already conversating. It's like, oh, that reminds me. Hey, man, you know what I mean? So like I try to take notes. You know, it's sometimes, you know, I'll sit at work and I'll listen to podcasts and I'll jot down little ideas like, yo, I'm going to ask the crew about this, or I'm going to ask, you know what I'm saying? Or like I listen to, I went through your profile to try to learn some stuff about you, ask some questions, you know what I mean? So I really didn't get much, but you know what I mean? I kind of knew a little bit about you already, so it made it easier, you know what I mean? But, you know, it was definitely a good time having you on here, you know what I'm saying? I would definitely love for you to come by and kick it. And if they ever want to do some documentary stuff, or let me know, you know what I'm saying? All right. I mean, I know there's probably some better videographers around here, but hey, you know what I mean?
Hey, it's like, I look at it like this, you know, everybody that's doing stuff, starting stuff somewhere, you know, start somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, you don't got to come out the gate be like, I need this. It's like, yo, what are we trying to do? What's the goal and what we trying to accomplish? And do you accomplish that? And then what do you learn and grow and develop and get better at it? If we ain't all elevating, from that particular standpoint, then you go, all right, everybody take a chance. Everybody do something with somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, definitely, man. Yeah, it's definitely a dog eat dog world, but trying to find the right characters in our lives is definitely, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I'm hopefully definitely get you on here. I'm trying to get you on my pod forever. You know what I mean? I want you to be one of my co-stars. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Sometimes these conversations is great, and sometimes I need help trying to conversate, because, sometimes we all have slow days. Sometimes I'm tired or you know what I mean? Or I run out of subjects to talk about. That's why I'm thankful for some of my co-stars, you know what I mean? Because when I ain't got, I might run out of questions during an interview. Like my one boy, my one man, Lamont 330, he helps me do these after hours where he interviewed the OnlyFans girls, and I was running out of questions. I was like, man, you got anything? And he was right, had a few for me, kept it going a little bit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, not to extend too much, but a lot of the girls that follow me have OnlyFans.
Oh, snap.
So I actually have taken some time because when you also create a safe environment for ladies, or they feel comfortable with you, they talk to you about certain things, or they see how you run business, and they're like, well, maybe you could help me do this. I'm like, but my mind goes, all right, bet, because I can see the business element of it, and I take my theater, and they know about my theater background, they know about the management type stuff, they know about how that I'm in entertainment, they know that I understand elements of the industry. I'm not a massive professional, and I always say, stay in your lane. I'm not any bigger than what I am. But this is what I know. And so a lot of girls had the OnlyFans, so I was asking them questions too to get a better understanding of what it is you're trying to accomplish. Because there's some girls that just throwing content trying to make bread. Like, I'm just following me for content.
Just random pictures of you in the bathroom.
And then, pay me some money to see me naked.
Yeah,
and I'm like...
There's no showmanship to that.
I'm like, you're a brand. What is it really? What fantasy are you selling? What fantasy are you presenting?
Single broke mom.
Yeah. So it's like
that's what the majority of them look like. Right? I mean,
so I do know a couple of girls personally that have gone on the OnlyFans, and we talk about 6-7 figures.
Oh wow!
Like on some wait, hold up, I know.
Yeah.
Wait,
it's crazy.
Like I know this for a fact, and I'm like, yo, you really stopped this job and you over here making 6 figures. But understanding her brand, understanding where her skill is and isn't, and then marketing that appropriately. And so I had talked to some girls about that just from a business standpoint. Like, I'm more than open to try to manage some type stuff. Like,
you find out Blue Ice a pimp.
but all right, I'm gonna break this down just real quick. All right, so let's take what you see with OnlyFans, right?
Okay.
And let's even superimpose this with the podcast we're doing right now, right? All right. So you got an idea for a podcast, right? But when I walked in, and this is my theater mind, I walked in, I said, all right, the way that you set your seating up, your table selection, your color choices, your mic placement, your lighting positioning, all that stuff that you're doing is by design to give you the best possible angles, the best possible environment, the best possible atmosphere, so that the thing that you are presenting is readily and easily digested by the people looking at your content.
Yeah.
None of this is accident. And so it's the same thing if you're doing your OnlyFans or whatever it is that you're doing. Those details matter. And so that was the kind of thing that I was saying. That's the kind of stuff I talk about. Like, well, what are you doing? And even though it might be something you like, it's still by design.
Yeah. And ladies, quit giving away your nudes away for free on Twitter.
Yes.
That is not going to get you no subs on your OnlyFans.
Yeah, I noticed
that.
Yeah, I noticed
like,
that.
Man.
I said, wait, hold up.
Yeah, I can literally see it all right there on your Twitter because you can post that you should do it. No. Save that for your money makers.
Yeah.
You're literally giving it out for free. All right.
Yep.
Just as a free jewel from your man, DJ.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Hit them with the free account. Then
yeah. No, yeah. OnlyFans is some money, man. And if you can manage or help a girl out, man, they can make some good money.
Because my intentions aren't impure, but also I didn't really go into it like that. These were like passing conversations. So I'm not doing this. I haven't said, hey, let me be your manager. I'm saying I'll give, like you said, drop a jewel here and there.
Yeah.
But I was like, that could be something.
Well, how about me and you interview a couple OnlyFans girls one night?
We can do it.
I mean, I do the break room after hours. You know what I mean? We kind of just sit here, have a couple drinks, just hang out and just chit chat. Yeah, I'll bring some blue juice. Yeah, that'd be perfect. You know what I mean? Right. That'd be awesome. I mean, because it's I always find it interesting on what these girls go through. You know what I mean? Just how they got to the point to where now they're taking pictures of themselves and selling it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because it's a smart idea. If I could do it, I would.
Man, listen. What? Absolutely.
Yo, listen, you could do something like that. If you started doing like a documentary style, you can make an OnlyFans for it because you don't always have to be naked. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's kind of like the Zeus Network type of deal, with the Baddies East type of situation.
I'm familiar with that.
You never seen like who Blueface? I forgot his name for a second. Yeah. Blueface and Krishan Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were on Baddies East or West or whatever. That's where she came from.
Okay.
And Blueface started it. Because he bought a mansion and he put a bunch of girls in it and a bunch of cameras.
Yeah, see, I'm aging myself. You can see the less you start to be like, the distance is getting further.
Yeah. See, I pay attention to all that wild, crazy celebrity antics. You know what I mean? I find it interesting. Just because I feel like it's easier for people to conversate about stuff that they know of, and a lot of people know the celebrity stuff versus just. Talk about local weather or something.
Dude, I'm more than happy to come in and be a contributing.
What
do they call that? One of those occasional contributors come in.
And it's gonna be
that's a conversation.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna get in deep with these girls, conversation wise.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm always about. I love talking to people.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't get to do it too often. Mm-hmm. So when I do. These conversations that I'm just having with you, I've had hundreds of these one-on-one, privately with miscellaneous people. So that's kind of how I develop my relationships. There'd be some chance conversation, and we just go in and.
Well, this one's gonna live forever on YouTube.
Hey, it's all good.
You always be able to go back and people be able to go back and learn about Blue Ice. You know what I'm saying? If you're ever curious about his shows, you're ever curious about what's going on inside of his events, what kind of person he is, you come back to this and. Absolutely. Learn about your man, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Forever in perpetuity.
Yeah, but man, I had a blast with you today, man. Look forward to some after hours episodes with you.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
It's your man, DJ A in the building. I got DJ Blue Ice.
That's right.
BreakRoom Podcast interviews, and we out. You gonna give him a little finger thing?
Nah.
Hey. All right.